Welcome to Facebook for Mortgage. We are going to be discussing today how you can use your Facebook account and your Facebook business page in order to create relationships and drive new business. We're going to be going over how people use Facebook, all the demographics involved, the marketing goals that you may have for this year, how to use Facebook for your mortgage business, the difference between how you're showing up from a personal perspective and a business perspective. We'll review what to post. We'll talk about the power of Facebook groups and we'll discuss events. When you talk about who is using Facebook, it's easier just to imagine that everyone is because one third of the world's population is. The level of influence that Facebook has in our lives cannot even be calculated. It is something we are all a part of, and that's almost impossible to say of anything else. We're not all anything. We're all human, but beyond that, we're not all involved in any one thing. And yet here we all are using Facebook. Yes, there's one or two people you probably know who aren't using Facebook, but for the most part, most people are on it every day at least once. There are a lot of things that Facebook is incredible for. And it is not my favorite social media platform. It used to be. Instagram is now. Facebook used to be. But I still spend a lot of time on Facebook because it's important to business. Because the thing I understand is that building brand awareness and influence because people want to know and trust you, that's incredibly important. Making sure that you have engagement on your page, supporting the people around you and their objectives, understanding how people can contact you or have conversations or DM you. All of these things are just such an incredibly valuable sort of gift that Facebook gives us. And the reality is going to be that as younger people are ready to start searching for homes, they're going to be on their smartphone, they're going to be on mobile apps, they're going to be asking their friends who they're using for a real estate agent or for their mortgage. They love group thought, and you have to make sure that you're reaching them across digital platforms. Um, how we're doing that is going to, I think, drastically change in the next year or two. I'm not suggesting that you start a TikTok page and do mortgage dancing, videos, but I also am. There we have to be across all these different platforms in order to really encourage people to interact with our brand. How you show up. This is probably it looks like a short slide, but here we go. It is it is very worth your time and energy to take a look at your profile and think about it in a way for somebody who just signed on your page. If they just became friends with you, what is the impression they're going to have when they become friends with you? The first thing most people are going to do is scroll through your profile pictures, maybe scroll through your news feed. Hardcore stalkers are going to go deep into your pictures. They're going to be looking at different things that you do. I can tell you, especially during the last year of our life, I have seen social media and people's showing up in social media be so problematic that I don't even think that they understand fully the ramifications of it yet. It's one thing to be a keyboard warrior and have lots of opinions on things, but you have to be incredibly careful to remember that everyone sees that. And whether you believe it or not, it can turn people off or turn people on. And that's a ton of power. So you have to make sure that you know from your own personal profile, what are people seeing? And is it what I want people to see? Sort of one of the more interesting things I think that people do is, if you've got pictures of you, from college on your Facebook page, and you're reaching out to referral partners to be connected, and your pictures of you doing keg stands or bong hits, that's probably not what we want to have on there. Now, you probably shouldn't have that on there regardless, but I'm just trying to tell you, editing yourself is going to be really valuable. Facebook is there to be a digital relationship builder. And the way that people thought about Facebook maybe 2 or 3 years ago was, this isn't going to be, I don't want people to see my information. I don't want strangers to see where I am. What if they break in my house? That is all gone. It's just not how people use social media anymore. So you can and friend request any referral partner you have, any realtor you work with, any customers you work with, and then you have the ability to tag them and have an ongoing relationship with them moving forward. And it's not this is how people use it. It's not like it's creepy. You don't pre-approve somebody and then like friend them and they're like, "Why is this happening?" Hopefully you've had a conversation with them where you've been really friendly and you want to create a relationship, because if you don't, then what's the point of anything? Your customers can become your friends. That seems preposterous, and yet it is absolutely what the most successful loan officers are doing right now. They are building literal personal relationships that turns those friends into advocates for their business. And especially with things like, of course it's kind of overdone, the people with the pictures with the closing key and the tagging of everybody. I mean, that is definitely kind of an older school way of doing it. However, when you're tagged and people can see that, it's still really important. Personal videos that share your why, and I mean like your why about everything. Personal videos to me are such a great way for people to understand, to be able to look you in the eye and see your heart. But please be careful when it comes to that. I mean, I every day see the worst mortgage videos in history. If you're sitting in front of a whiteboard and you're totally poorly lit and you're talking about, eliminating PMI, I mean, that's great and it's good information, but I'm going to pay attention for maybe a second. You have to make sure that you're thinking about how to do that. But my gosh, video on Facebook is an extraordinary thing to really delve into. And then telling the stories of your closings. What do those stories look like? And those can be videos as well. You pop up in the computer, you say, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know a little story today. It was such an important thing to me. A few years ago, I met someone. They didn't have the credit score. We worked together, and today they were able to buy their first home. And it was an extraordinary experience for me because developing those kinds of relationships is really powerful and meaningful. So, whatever you say, telling the stories of your closing can really be great. There used to be a separation of church and state. You used to have your personal profile and your business page. Now, those two things still exist, but how we use them has changed just in an extraordinary way. Obviously, your personal profile is now seen by all of the people you connect with, but you should be connecting with people who are not, your friends from high school. You want to be going out and really making these business connections for your personal profile page. You do have to remember how important it is to do these things. You have to remember how your posts mean everything. So does your attitude. I can tell you now that a lot of the people um, who post about politics or post about things that are a little bit divisive. That is not for me what you want to do. And believe me, I have incredibly strong political opinions. You just don't see them on Facebook because I try to make sure that I am speaking to everyone. But I want to touch on attitude for a moment too. This is mostly, I talk to a lot of realtors. I teach a lot of realtors things as well. And one of the things that you have to remember is if you have a really frustrating customer or a really frustrating day and you vent about that on your Facebook page, just keep in mind that people read that. People see that. You're thinking you're talking about this bad day that you had to your friends, and you have to remember who it's going out to. Then you just decide how much you're going to share. I don't think in this day and age it matters. And we are all across all right, like we're on Instagram with our stuff, we're on TikTok with our stuff, we're on Snapchat with our stuff. Um, so that's it's an interesting time to be alive for sure because so much of who we are is out there. And then last but not least is the segmenting of your audience. It is a tricky little thing to do because it takes a lot of time, But you can always do something where if you're going to go in and you're going to be friends with your referral partners and you don't want them to see all of your posts, you can segment them into their own specific audience of realtors. It also helps if you're putting out marketing to be able to give them just give the realtors what you want them to see. Your business page is still really valid. However, you know how this goes. They're trying, Facebook wants to monetize what you're doing on your Facebook page, and so this is a good place to share your blogs, share some business insight. You want to keep that professional, but on any given day, the amount of information that's going to be on your business page, um, is not going to be seen by a tremendous amount of people unless you have people who are really engaging with your page. So the way that the algorithm works when it comes to the post on there is, if you don't have any engagement and say you have 2,000 fans on your Facebook page and you don't have a ton of engagement, your Facebook post might go out to 53 people. I mean, it's insane to me that that's how it's done. But how does Facebook monetize that? They say, "Oh, if you want more people to see this, you can boost this post and give us some money, and we'll show more people." So you can imagine that the way that we can take, sort of the reins of our own social media presence is to make sure that our profile page is selling every bit as much as we wish our business page would. Think outside the box when it comes to Facebook business pages sometimes. I know right now you probably have one that's specific to your business, and you may even have an old one from an old company you were with. But when you're thinking about how to do something maybe a little different, think about how if you made a page that was called, relocating to Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, if people are going to be searching on Google who are going to be relocating to Charlotte, North Carolina, I have news for you. That's going to pop up. That Facebook page is going to show up. So think about things that might be a little more outside the box. If it's first time home buyers in North Carolina, whatever that is, but you can have multiple business pages where your message is going out. Facebook makes it pretty simple to set these things up now. Oh my gosh, it used to be that you used to have to go to a Facebook page and then find the create button. And now they just have pages and create button and they walk you through the entire thing. You got to know what your goals are going to be with Facebook. One of those things is how to drive referral traffic. Um, Tagging people is still a really valid way of making sure that you're in front of people. You see a lot of different tactics when it comes to making sure that people see things on your wall. A lot of people will tag, like people put a meme up and tag like 80 people in it. And so when those people comment or when those people like it, then it's going to be shown in their newsfeed that they liked it. But you can also strengthen brand awareness. And I would argue that you can absolutely build a business through that strategy. I have a client, she does only investment lending for real estate investors. And when I started, trying to show her exactly what it was that Facebook would bring to her business, she's highly, highly skeptical. And yet now she's connected with thousands of real estate investors across the country. How much did that cost? Nothing. I mean, obviously she hires us to do it, so it costs her something, but it costs you nothing. It doesn't cost things to do guerrilla marketing. It just takes a long time. But if you're interested in knowing, in friending, the top 50 real estate agents in your area, that's what you should do. And then once you're in there, you can start building that brand up. Building a relationship with those people is easier once you're interacting with those people. So you've got this real estate agent you really want to work with. You decide that you're going to connect with them. You start having conversations, commenting on things, asking open-ended questions. Even DM them and just say, "Hey, I'm really glad you accepted my friend connection. I've admired you for a really long time." Don't ask for business. Just move forward. And then just showing that you're able to provide a really good customer service experience is important, right? That you're really showcasing how important it is to you to do the job that you do. So let's go a little bit over some 101s that are always important. Have a strategy. Now, this is a fascinating thing because most of us are used to just sort of, just spilling out whatever we want to on our status. But if you're using this account for business and personal, you should think about that every single day. How am I? What's an interesting thing to talk about? What do I want to talk about this week? Please, for the love of Pete, check your statuses for spelling and grammar. I know that that seems really rudimentary, but so is spelling and grammar. So just make sure that you have something on there that's catching your mistakes. I use, I think, Grammarly, but there's so many different plugins that you can have for any web browser that will allow you to have a spell check built right in. Share your own blog links. You should have your own website, no matter who you are. If you're on this call, you should have your own website. If you don't, then you're not building your own personal brand. And there's no arguing that. And you should also have content on your website. You should be able to drive traffic back to your site. It's also good to do partner spotlights. I mean, there's a lot of different times where and probably some of my most favorite ways of doing that are ask your sphere who the best realtors in your area are and have them tag them and then befriend those people. Ask them who the best CPAs are in the area. Tag those people. Financial advisors, same. So it's all a matter of how you want to build that sphere up and then how you want to promote that sphere. So that's another way that you can do it is you can highlight different agents that you work with or different businesses that are in town. Ask your friends to be fans of your business page. When is the last time you invited your friends to your Facebook page for business? I bet it's been a year, if not more. Go through there today and just really invite those people. For the people who you can't invite again, run a little contest. Tell them you will put a picture of yourself from seventh grade up if you get to 2,000 fans of your business page. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to drive those people. Befriend everyone in your sphere. This is my absolute professional advice to you today. Start friending everybody who you know. We talk whenever closings with people, with holding the little keys and tagging them up. Very important. Post videos about why you love everything. Whether you are going to see you're going into a model home where you're doing a broker open house and you're going to do a Facebook live of that model, whether it's you're picking up takeout from a really good spot in town that right now is probably struggling and you just want to do a little shout out to them, tag them in that. There are so many different things that you can do to really be effective. And then publish original content. Just what do you want to talk about? Write a thing. Write 2 or 3 paragraphs with a nice picture. When you're talking about, sort of taking a moment and auditing your profile, it's probably time to audit your business page. It may have been a long time since you have done this. You want to make sure that everything is in place, that you have a good profile picture and cover photo. Lest we forget that a lot of people in this industry love to use a picture from 10, 12, 30 years ago. Please do update your picture to what you look like now, and have a professional header image, because that is going to be really important. Writing out your mission is so smart. Who are you? What are you all about? Like, tell people all that information. And then contact information. Make sure it's all updated. You make sure your cell phone, make sure everything is on there, so they can get a hold of you. Put your website in there. Make sure that your company bio is in your about section so people can get a view of who you are and what you do. Whatever products there are for you, I mean, that's not a lot, but you can understand. Categories chooses where you're going to show up. Mortgage is a tricky one unless you are a broker, because pretty much everybody has to show up as a mortgage broker. And then you can just tell the story of your business. You can put so much detail into the about. It's crazy. You can also then figure out how you are going to have the page interact from a chatbot perspective, right? So you get to choose, like, do I want to send a message? Do I want to go to this person's website? And Facebook really walks you through all of those things. Make sure that you're asking the right questions. If you want to connect with new customers, make sure you ask people who is moving to town. Do you have anyone who's moving to town, moving to our area in 2021? Make sure you're asking those questions like I told you about. Who's a great attorney? Who's a great financial advisor? People want to suggest their friends to you. They want to be a resource for you. And that's going to give you a soft introduction to those people. And that is fantastic. People struggle, I think, a lot with what am I going to post today? There are so many things that you can post to keep your page an active and fun place to go. Selling, do you have tips to make selling a home go faster, better? Do you have any tips on neighborhoods that are coming up in the area? What encourages someone to list their house on the market? What do they need to know about being pre approved? Then for buying, how exactly that same thing, pre-approval, pre-qualification, where to buy, how to buy, what the steps are, why being pre-approved before they look is so important. Stories you know of people who didn't get pre-approved and felt sad about that. Videos from around town, all different areas, all different restaurants, different neighborhoods, new construction. Be your own sort of guide about town. Pictures of beautiful houses always get enormous results. Just like the HGTV dream house thing. I mean, anybody wants to sort of live this fantasy. So if you're at a house, or even if you're at your friend's house and you take a picture of like, will you just check out the backyard my friends have? This is incredible. Reviewing local businesses, we went over a little bit. Real estate story is something going on in the world of real estate or mortgage that's actually something that people are going to be interested in. Put that up. Cute photos or home projects, those are just killer. It works every time. And then obviously, you want to make sure that you are going to be talking to people around the holidays. Perfect example, color cabinets, yes or no? And that's all you needed. You need this picture and colored cabinets, yes or no. People are going to have a visceral response when they see this picture. They're going to be like, absolutely not. Or that is such a cool new trend. Or it's going to open conversations for people who are going to say things like, that is the kitchen I've always dreamed of. And you can say, are you thinking about moving? So these are ways to start conversations. And goodness gracious knows there are two things that will always get people to talk. And that is really cute pets and fun little things that they can vote on. Yesterday was was a day where I posted both of these pictures actually, because on the left is one of my customers' brand new puppies, and on the right is just a simple graphic where people get to pick which cake they wouldn't eat. And yet there were hundreds of comments on things like this. I know that that seems silly. I am just telling you now, pets, food, simple options, opinions, those are all things that people want to do on Facebook. We're in a strange spot right now. We don't have a lot of events going on. We do have online events, but we don't have really in person events. However, anytime that you are doing something that you want people to join, make sure that you are setting up an event for it. Even if it's just a first time homebuyer seminar that you're running on Zoom, set up an event and Facebook walks you through exactly how to set up an event. And then you can invite people to it and then they can RSVP. And you know that when you RSVP to a Facebook event, the people in your sphere get to see that you went or that you're going. And it encourages them to go and check that out. The Nutcracker at Christmas time did a Facebook event, and the number of people who were interested in watching this like live version from Russia was like 2.7 million. So it's just a really effective tool. And you are highly underestimating how important groups are. I know that for a fact because everybody underestimates how important groups are. If you look on the left hand side, you will see groups, and you can search groups by city, by public versus private. But if you are not in every single real estate group for your area, may I highly suggest doing so. It is as simple as looking through groups and just search real estate in your area. I also recommend getting into some loan officer groups, getting some tips. There are lots and lots and lots of outstanding mortgage groups where people are talking about things like, are Facebook, ads effective? Or here's what I'm seeing in the market. Or does anyone have any idea how to do this? Or has anybody ever worked with this lender before? It's a really good resource for you, and it is one of the easiest ways that you can get engaged with people, especially when it comes to real estate agents. We are always trying to give you as many possible tools as you need to build your business effectively. Obviously, we are a marketing agency for mortgage. So we know all of these things, but we do like to introduce you to these concepts and to getting you to the point where you're starting to understand more how much of a factor you are in driving business. There are lots of ways that you can do that. And we put all of those on our website, whether that is the articles that we have every week, whether that is the videos like the ones that I'm making now, or the coaching where we do deep dives into really how to do all of these things. All of those things are going to be available on our website. If you go to intentmarketing.com, they're always there for you. Let's talk about the action items that I would like you to take away from today because I give you a lot of information. There's no question. But there are simple takeaways that you can do. One is to review your accounts, review your profile page, review your business page. Make sure that you look the way you want to look. Get rid of anything you don't want on there. Make sure that you have added as much as you can. Rebuild that old information, give yourself a fresh look, go over to Canva, create yourself a new Facebook banner. Remember that you can use all the tools at your disposal to really give yourself sort of a fresh new look. Spend your day today friending every single referral partner that you have, and follow all real estate groups in your area and mortgage groups nationally. If you'd like to, I'd like to be your friend. I'm super friendly. This is where you can find me. I have Kauai in the background, and that's me. So you can always look me up. I am nothing if not always putting out information that's great for loan officers. And that's going to do it for us today. I'm going to take questions at this time. If you need to hop off the call, we really appreciate you coming. And we want to let you know that we do these all the time. A great way to know what is coming up is to look at that resources and watch out for the new coaching calendar that we are going to be putting up. Really appreciate you guys and look forward to answering some of your questions. Sarah asks, can you show the person you worked with, or is that not okay? Do you need to ask for permission? Okay. Um, yeah. Oh no, Sarah, you're totally fine. In fact, all of our videos, Sarah, are going to be are a constant resource. You absolutely can show everybody. They don't even we like probably most of the people on this call today are not even clients of Intent. So we are just we just like to put the information out there. So you're welcome to share with anyone you would like. And how often would you recommend sharing each week on either page? Such a good question. So for me, that is all I mean, it's a little different for me. I'm a social media expert. So my take on it is going to be you should feel it, right? You'll get a feel for how to engage once you start doing it. I used to teach people, this is probably maybe 8, 9 years ago, like, here's your schedule Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and here's where the audience is going to be online from 12 to 2. And here's how to do like this. It's not like that anymore, especially right now where everyone's home and everybody's on Facebook all the time. There's no specific time to do it. Um, I think it's all about the rhythm that you have and the cadence of how am I being a resource versus how am I being a human? How am I putting enough sort of digital intimacy into our relationship that people feel like they know me without me shoving it down their throat that I'm in mortgage? And that to me is going to be practice. Now, I can tell you, don't do more than twice a week of like of sort of what I would consider, and I say this with love, sort of like a boring mortgage post. I wouldn't put more than two of those up. So if you're like talking about rates or refinancing, don't, that's going to drown people. Your business page, put it up all day long. You can put links to your website, you can put all the information you want on there, but remember that the audience will be smaller. But the way that you're really going to be able to build that rhythm is going to be just by doing it. Well, it looks like we're out of questions. If you guys don't have any more, I'm going to let you hop off the call and enjoy your day. And I just really appreciate you being here. And next week, we have a very serious training schedule. So make sure that you check that out. And if you need us or if you need that, go ahead and email us at info@intentmarketing.com and we will send our schedule to you and make sure that you are on our distribution list going forward. Thanks so much and have a great day.